Hey guys, Marcus here with what is going to be the last preview for the regular season for the 2015-2016 Barclays Premier League. We're going up against Bournemouth, and honestly, we're relying on a miracle. As many of us know, we completely capitulated against West Ham and just put out an absolutely miserable performance. And we lost, so all control of Champions League left our hands, and we're going to rely on City losing to Swansea. Now, Swansea is in a pretty decent run of form, and City has been completely all over the place with their form and their consistency. So, I mean, it is possible, but it is very, very unlikely. So, for that, I'm really expecting a lot of things out of the game tomorrow. The primary of which will be that we kind of put a younger team out. I know we have to win this game, but it's also the last game but that we can really just kind of test players and see who's got it. So there's a few players I like to see in the team so that we know what kind of to do with them during the summer window. The first of which will be Adnan. Under Moyes, he came onto the scene like a rocket, and we all just had so much hope for him, and since then he's just gone to shit, as there's just something wrong mentally. So I think this would be a good game just to kind of get one last look for Van Gaal and his coaching staff and whatever may come in this summer, and should Van Gaal be sacked, and kind of see what he can do. So we need to know if we're going to commit to him for the future, if we want to just sell him outright in the summer, or if we want to loan him out. Another player would be Pereira. I think just his phenomenal form in the U21s merits a start. Whether or not Van Gaal likes him showboating or whatever the bullshit reason he was for him not playing, he deserves to start, and I think this would be a good game for him to start. We haven't exactly had the best production out of our 10s, and I'd like to see him get a chance to go on the pitch and show what he can do. If he can impress and maybe win back onto the coaching staff's good side and have some work to go through during the off season, and then kind of fight for that place going into the fall, or he can maybe catch the eye of a lower Premier League team and secure a loan where he'll be able to start week after week and prove why he has so much hype about him and why all of us are so excited to have him in our squad. Memphis, I'd like to see him start just kind of as a show of faith. Like, look, we haven't all completely given up on you, and you never know, we might have a game like he did against Bruges and just go out, light some fire under some people's asses and kind of get some momentum going into the off season, and just kind of give everyone something to think about and remember him by as we go through the wonderful experience that is the transfer window. And hopefully it'll kind of give him some confidence, because that's really been a key issue for him, is that he just has no confidence anymore. And I think that's a combination of not only Van Gaal kind of being very strict and authoritarian with how you perform and how you have to play, but also just the fact that he was a kid who came in riding a high, was king of the Eredivisie, and kind of came in and got a wake-up call that I guess he wasn't expecting, which most of us were expecting. So I'd love to see him play. And then at fullback, I'd love to see CBJ and Varela get some games. The two young kids. Varela has been just kind of frozen out since the Liverpool game, and CBJ just needs to play because Rojo sucks. In the middle, we'll see Blind and Smalling again. I'd like to see Timmy play center half and Blind moved into the midfield, but it won't happen. So yeah, let's just kind of go into my predicted 11, because what I want is never going to happen. Obviously, Dave will start in net. We'll have more than likely Valencia, Smalling, Blind, and Rojo on the back. In the midfield, Morgan will probably be benched just because Louis is a dictator. So it'll likely be Carrick and Rooney, and I don't even know, probably Herrera. I don't really have many options there. Fellaini suspended. And then wide, we'll see Marshall on the left, Mata on the right, and Rashford returning to the 11 up front. Bournemouth they don't have anything to play for. They have so many injuries. All these players that they invested in coming into the Premier League just all got injured. They're all looking good, and then they all got injured. Richie's pretty much their only dynamo. we have to worry about, and I honestly just don't think they're going to play. They're going to come in, throw 10 behind the ball, and if we get a goal, it's just going to be game over because they're not going to want to play. They came in, overachieved for their season, uh, secured staying in the league, and kind of they're already looking forward to the transfer window, how they're going to strengthen and ensure that they could stay in the Premier League. And that's been a great season for them. And I think that the game's ours for the taking, regardless of whether we play our strongest 11 or throw in some of the youth like I'd like to see. So yeah, this is good. This is it's a huge game, but then it's also an irrelevant game. Having all the games at the same kickoff time will make it interesting at least, but we can't just. It's just hard wanting to watch this game because there's nothing to play for. We're 100% relying on the best team in the league to go and just bottle it versus one of the weaker teams in the league, and I don't see it happening. I'd love for it to happen just because I think Pep Guardiola is so overrated, and I'd love to see City in Europa League. But it's just hard to get excited for this game. I'm gonna still wake up. I'm still gonna watch it, and I'm obviously gonna be happy if we win. But the only thing I'd really be happy about is if Marshall breaks the record for goal scoring. So other than that, it's just been such a shit season. This is just down to a number of factors. Van Gaal succumbing to the fans' pressure really kind of played a huge part and resulted in us going from first to like eighth or whatever it was. Our style of play just completely went erratic. We played great, played awful, played mediocre, played awful, played great, and it was just kind of a never-ending circle of just awful. And it's been a miserable experience. Really have a lot of hope for the summer window and hope we can just kind of move on and forget about what happened. Regardless of what goes on, this just needs to be an adequate warm up for the FA Cup game, and we all just need to move on and just try to find some hope in the future because right now it's pretty bleak. We're relying on our rivals to do us a favor, which, as we saw in 2012, it's not always a good idea. So, yeah, hopefully we can go out and at least do something decent, look decent, and get the points and just hope for the best. So yeah, hopefully we play well and City bottle it. Other than that, there's really nothing else to worry about.